Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Jai Hind. Good afternoon, sir.
बैठिए.
Thank you, sir.
Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir.
Achal,
Yes, sir.
you had your lunch?
Yes, sir. I had my
All
lunch.
right. Okay. So we can roll,
Yes,
right?
yes, sir.
You were supposed to come yesterday also.
Yes, sir.
So yesterday was one mythological and one event associated with mythology, the Shivratri.
Yes, sir.
Why is it celebrated on yesterday's date according to the Hindu Panchang?
Sir, I'm not aware about
But you
the
said
exact
mythology
reason.
is the.
Yes, sir.
What is
But
the occasion?
Sir?
What is the occasion? Why Mahashivratri is celebrated?
Sir, that's what I'm telling. I'm not aware about this. By mythology, I mostly read about Ramayana and Mahabharata, not all the Purans and Upanishads or stuff like that, but mostly Mahabharata and Ramayana.
Okay. So who has written Mahashiv Puran?
Sir, I'm not aware of.
Shiv Mahapuran. No. You don't know.
No, sir. If I am allowed to take a guess, I think it must be Ved Vyas because he was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Ved Vyas did. Okay. Shiv Mahapuran. Very good. All right. You read Ramayana?
Yes, sir.
Mahabharata also?
Yes, sir.
Have you read Kishkindha Kand?
Yes, sir.
What happens in Kishkindha Kand?
Sir, in Kishkinda Kand, when it begins after Ravan had abducted Sita, and Lord Ram and Lakshman are in search of Sita and roaming in the forest. So in Kishkinda Kand, Lord Ram meets with the king of Vanars, that is Sugriv, and mostly the messenger of Sugriv also, Hanuman. He meets Lord Ram and Lakshman in their way, and he takes them to Sugriv. And after that, there is also one very famous incident of the killing of Vali, the brother of Sugriv, in Kishkinda Kand. So mostly Kishkinda
Why was
Kand.
Bali killed?
Sir, Bali was killed to. So firstly, Sri Ram convinced Sugriv, and he kind of asked Sugriv for his help in finding Sita. But Sugriv was also having his problems in terms of his brother Vali had in his way wrongfully claimed the kingdom of Kishinda, and so Ram, in kind of favor to find and search for Sita, he agreed to kill
Was
Vali.
there any other reason? A moral reason behind it?
Yes, sir. So Ram, while explaining later to Vali that why he killed Vali, the way he killed, he unrightfully claimed the kingdom as well as the wife of Sugriv, which was Ruma. And just because of some misunderstanding between Vali and Sugriv, Vali was not very much open to listen to Sugriv's views.
All right.
And
Okay.
yes, sir.
Recently, Google removed a number of apps.
Yes, sir.
What was the flashpoint?
Sir, Google Play Store, in their justification, they said that they were removing the apps which were allowing the in-app purchases as well as financial, like having the monetary benefits, but that were not being distributed or shared with Google. For example, Shadi.com. So Shadi.com was removed because they were having some in-app that were within their app, the financial transactions that were happening between the stakeholders and the consumers, which were not being shared with Google Play Store or Google in general. So this was the main flashpoint.
This was the and no, but what is the commission that Google was charging from these apps, and these people refused to pay? Was there
Sir,
any issue of commission also?
Yes, sir, there was issue.
What
I am
was?
forgetting the number. It was more than 25%. Like it was quite higher than the
Being a
market.
student of economics, it should interest you. That why did it happen?
Yes, sir, I'll definitely
And
look more about it.
should a company like Google Play, Google app, be allowed to prescribe their own commissions, or there should be a regulatory mechanism?
Sir, the primary reason why Google is charging this is because of the monopoly it is having in this market of app purchases. So in principle and ethically saying, they should not be allowed to do that, because ultimately competition should be the key motive in any market, as it also leads to efficiency. So in principle, they should not be allowed, and there should be a regulatory mechanism.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Achal, what is the difference in meaning of Achal and Atal?
Sir, Achal means one who is very much fixated and determined to do something. While, but at the same point of time, Achal also means some kind of flexibility. But Atal is something which can't at all be delayed or be negated. So this is the primary difference that I can see.
Okay. Have you heard about Atal Innovation Mission?
Yes, sir, I have heard about it.
Can you please tell us what is it about?
Sir, Achal Innovation Mission basically is to target the startups and the innovation ecosystem. It can also be linked to the Achal tinkering labs that are there in the schools, mostly in the schools. The main objective again is to foster a spirit of entrepreneurship, a spirit of innovation, and a spirit of increasing in the scientific temper of especially the students and the youth of the society.
What is the outlay in this mission?
Sir, I am not aware about the exact outlay.
Okay. Any civil infrastructure project named after Atal, can you recollect?
Sir, I can recollect two civil infrastructure projects. One is the Achal Tunnel, that is there connecting Manali with the Spiti Valley, Manali and Spiti Valley. That is one. Second is the Achal Setu, that is recently also inaugurated by our Honorable Prime Minister.
In which state?
Sir, Achal Setu was inaugurated in, sir, I am forgetting, it's either Maharashtra or Gujarat. Sir, it is Maharashtra.
Okay.
Mumbai.
It's a sea link.
Sea link, yes, sir.
Right? Okay. It's an election year,
Yes, sir.
right? An important component is indelible ink.
Yes, sir.
Do you know which company manufactures it?
Sir, I don't know exactly, but if I am allowed to take a guess, I would. I
Yes.
think Camlin manufactures it because it is very much into colors.
No.
But I don't know exactly.
Okay. It is actually Mysore Paints and Varnish Limited,
Okay, sir.
right? Coming to elections again, there was a judgment by Honorable Supreme Court regarding appointment of election commissioners,
Yes,
right?
yes, sir.
And it was overturned by the Parliament.
Correct.
What are your views on that?
Sir, if we carefully analyze the Supreme Court judgment, so they also kind of set a temporary committee, and the ruling also said that this committee will exist till a new law is framed by Parliament. And in the new law, a committee has been framed which will consist of Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition, and one more, I think, Home Minister, or one minister appointed by the Prime Minister himself. So, in my view, this is correct because So, firstly, I also think there should be independence between executive and judiciary. So, a judicial appointment in an executive post would have been not very much beneficial for our checks and balances power that exists. So, in my view, this committee is fine, and I don't see this as an overturning of judgment. But since Supreme Court also mentioned that it's till a law is framed, so I think it's a good step, and the committee is fine.
Will it have any impact on the impartiality of the election commission?
Sir, personally, I believe it won't have an impact on impartiality because we also have a leader of opposition in the appointment of committee. So the decision.
He can be overruled 2-1.
Yes, sir, but ethically, the government should not do that. Do such a kind of appointment that can also kind of blame the government that they are
No,
being partial.
This is being
That-
this is being wishful.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, it could have been that it should be a unanimous choice of all the three. When the word unanimous is not there, it means 2-1
That's correct.
proportion is always there.
So instead of changing the committee's composition, one additional layer can be added in terms of what kind of people are being shortlisted for being appointed as the Chief Election Commissioner. And for that shortlist, there has to be I won't say consensus, but at least a deliberate consultation with major stakeholders, be the opposition, other MLAs, MPs, or any bureaucrats.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Achal, you are planning to come to government system.
Yes, sir.
Now, first thing I would like to know, what is your concept of governance? What is governance?
So, according to me, governance is a set of rules, initiatives, policies, and any other step that is being done, especially in India, for the welfare of the citizens, since we are a welfare state. So, governance will entail any direction or any step in that regard.
So, the concept of governance changes from place to place or society to society, you mean? Because with reference to our country, you have defined it that way. But governance doesn't mean authority, rule, direction. Where are they positioned with regard to governance? Government should have some authority.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Correctly.
And also rules, of course, you have mentioned. So how that authority is to be exercised?
Sir, authority and power is one aspect of governance which has to be there, because ultimately we have to not only the welfare, but we also have to develop a conducive system and a safe system for the society. So yes, rules and power.
Do you think, in spite of all this, in our country, the concept of governance in different states or for different political parties, that varies quite a lot, which is now coming to surface now gradually, like dynasty rule or government, the chief of the state being the kings of the state, doing whatever arbitrarily and getting away with it. All these things existed or exist even now in India. So is that the kind of governance system that our country can sustain, or any civilized or democracy should sustain? And what is it that is holding the country back from removing that? Because ultimately the argument that is proposed, it is government, no people's vote. So please give your reasonings for this.
Sir, if we talk about the fault lines that are there in different different states, the modes of governance, ultimately it's the people who are deciding, as you also correctly mentioned. So any bad won't exist for a long term, and the people would be the deciding factor, and the people would take care of those. So if we talk about dynastic politics or any other things like that, if the even if the politics is being dynastic, but if they are contributing towards the welfare of the people and the society and their state in general, and after that they are coming to power, I don't
Not
see
at all. You take the case of Bimaru states.
Yes,
Like
sir.
UP was there, which has changed very drastically now. Bihar is still there. So for decades, 3-4 decades, it is just going down and down. So is that good for the people? Because it is these people who are voting the government to power. So what do you think? Because do people have a role to have the government of their choice, or that will do for them? You said that government means for welfare of the people.
Yes,
That is
sir.
our concept. But are they doing welfare of the people? And unless and until there is something outside of the government system that is affecting, like UP, what is the change? How the change happened? You can explain that, in short. That has changed, overhauled the government system in UP.
Sir, according to my knowledge, if I specifically talk about UP, the primary reason why UP is now showing green shoots is because of the change in intent of the government, of the UP government, and they are now mostly focusing on the ground issues like increasing employment, increasing the investment, not only
So,
the
do you think that it is the leadership that is more important than the democratic system of election? Because if the leader has right intent, now of course to come first to become a leader, elected leader, he has to have to go through the system.
yes, sir.
But after that, if the leader is not appropriate, then things will be going down that way.
That's correct, sir. So leadership is one of the major reason, but again talking about people's perspective and people's choice, I think the primary reason why the states who are not developing is also a lack of choice for the people to vote, to elect their leader. So when they had a good choice and the leader is also, you know, kind of upholding their values and the promises that they have made to the electorate. So this particular aspect might be missing in the states that have lagged behind, but still I feel leadership is obviously one
I
of the
think we
reasons.
have
But
to stop at this stage, but there is one thing, one flag, one issue I would be flagging. You should think on that, because ultimately everything boils down to the election system.
yes, sir.
And this is the stage where there is an attack from all the important stakeholders. That includes judiciary also, that includes main parties. So that is the thing, and since we have limited time, we can't, but you should think over it. And this is very important to understand, because you are joining the government system. Okay, all right.
So
all the
one
best.
aspect I was also coming towards was civil society organizations. They also
Yes.
have to be empowered.
No, but civil society organizations can be managed by some external power or also
Correct,
internal.
correct,
So that
correct.
is a different issue, because they are even worse in the way that on the face of it, they may appear something, but their agenda may be something different. So therefore, we should not go by face value. All right,
Correct.
yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
All the
Thank you,
best.
sir. Thank you.
Achal,
Yes, sir.
you are having economics. You have
Yes.
studied economics for a long time. We have made a differentiation between macro, micro.
So these
and
are the
all-
subjects that I studied.
So
Yes, sir.
all those things. Keeping this economics thing in the background, do you think India is going to be bankrupt in the next 5 years? Yes or no?
No, sir, I don't think so.
But why?
And the reasons are, if I talk about specific macroeconomic indicators,
You give me 2-3 reasons why India is not going to be bankrupt in next 5 years. 2-3 bullet points you say.
so the first would be due to the reforms, financial sector reforms that India has taken. Our NPAs are the net performing assets are significantly reducing, which have come to 3%, 3.2%.
Reforms will not affect the for going bankrupt.
So the NPA issue, like now due to the
Talk from an economics point of view, not from a purely theoretical point of view.
yes, sir.
Any three.
Sir, our debt to GDP ratio is also at a reasonable level, where we are seeing in the developed countries it's more than 100%, but in India, combined for central and state, it's 85%. So we are quite comfortable at that level. Our fiscal deficit also is now, we are moving towards fiscal consolidation by increasing the tax revenue as well as rationalizing the expenditures also on subsidies. So our government or the entire economy won't go bankrupt due to that.
So cutting you short, we are giving so many freebies. We are borrowing from somewhere else and giving it to them. So will this not affect the road to becoming bankrupt?
Sir, in my personal opinion, firstly we would have to differentiate between what are freebies and what are subsidies. The amount of freebies that the government...
Okay, you define what is freebies and what is subsidy, and how it is different,
Yes, sir.
and how is it not going to affect the
Sure,
road
sir.
to bankruptcy?
So, subsidy would be both subsidies and freebies are financial assistance, but subsidies would be the financial assistance which will ultimately lead to an increase in the productive capacity of the people also, or a general empowerment of the people as well. While freebies does not necessarily mean attaching financial empowerment or increasing the financial capabilities or social capabilities of the people. That is the major difference between subsidies and freebies.
Go more deep into it.
Yes,
Try
sir.
to find out. Anyway,
Okay.
recently, President has appointed Sudha Murthy as a
Rajya Sabha.
member of Rajya Sabha.
Yes, sir.
Is the President empowered to do so?
Yes, sir.
Under what powers?
So, sir, the president is empowered to nominate 12 members in Rajya Sabha and those can be distinguished persons from any field, be it art, sports, cinema, or etc. And the major reason for why the president is having such powers is, firstly, these specialized people won't be having that much, I would say, local support, and they won't be able to come in the parliament by the votes of the people. But such voices should be there in the parliament so as to have a diversity of opinion in various fields during the policy making.
So, do you think the three bills which were passed by the parliament in the absence of the opposition was a sign for strengthening of democracy?
Sir, you are talking about the 3 criminal bills that were passed last year? Okay, sir. Sir, that was an unfortunate incident that much debates and discussions were not held, and the debates and discussions should have been held before passing the bills. But seeing the intent of the bills, I can say that the bills are in a good state, and even if the opposition would have been there, it would have been passed with a good majority.
If I say India is moving towards a presidential form of government, will that be a correct statement to make?
Sir, taking this in a blanket way, I personally humbly don't feel that India is moving towards presidential form. It is still a good parliamentary democracy, and that is because we have so many parties, and which are so as of now it can be said that okay, one party is in power, is having a huge power with them, but that is also by the people's mandate. And we are not moving towards a presidential form, we are still in a parliamentary form where the role of opposition is also very much essential.
Okay, all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome, Achal. You are very well qualified and good CGPA score throughout.
So,
10 out of 10 and 97% and 9.14. And then you started your working with top ranking Fortune 500 companies, American Express and MasterCard.
yes, sir.
And having bright future, anybody who has a talent and something, it is very easy to jump the levels and to increase the salary and increase the rank also. Why you want to come in a system where everything is in a queue and talent is not recognized, everybody is at par. Senior is senior, junior is junior throughout the life.
Sir, there are majorly two aspects to this. Firstly, since you are talking about raising the ranks and getting high salaries over the years, money is not something that I aspire for. I aspire for more responsibility with power. So that was kind of lacking in corporates. And secondly, if I talk about seeing what contribution and what value I am bringing to the society, it is, if not completely, but mostly absent in the corporates, where we can't see what kind of impact we are bringing. But in services like civil services or any public service.
MasterCard is making very much impact. The life of people become very
Yes,
easy.
sir.
I have MasterCard, I can spend anywhere in the world in any currency. No problem. In 2 minutes I get the money. It's a great company is doing a great job to making life of common man very easy. You are contributing in that. It's just they don't contribute anything.
So yes, but I'm not saying that MasterCard doesn't contribute, but personally I won't be able to see the impact that I'm making. And over here again, the MasterCard is being able to help people because of the policies and because of the ecosystem created by public servants and the government in general. And since you just mentioned that it's making the lives of the people easier, But civil servants, and if I'm in the service, I would also focus more on inclusive growth and not just a general growth, where
Indian,
I can reach a
and ordinary Indian studying from India and then becoming CEO of this Mastercard. It's a great achievement. You could have also reached that level.
Yes, sir. But ultimately, just focusing on some segments and even the top segments of the society won't do good, because ultimately India or Bharat is mostly the citizens who still need hand holding to go above, and that inclusive
Hand
growth.
holding is good. Working in a remote village in UP or Bengal or Odisha without any basic facilities
Yes, sir.
is not a easy task. It's all
Correct,
dreams.
sir.
You are having dreams in the mind, but ground realities are very different.
Sir, not exactly dreams, but I have had some personal experiences as well. My parents also hail from villages in Vrindavan, the rural areas in Vrindavan. And while being the president of the Students' Union, I had the opportunity to talk to the ground level workers, the ground level people, be it
Okay,
the
I
street vendors and all
wish
this.
you wish you all the best if you hope and you get through. Now see, the US dollar is strengthening in the last 2-3 years, whereas their economy is not doing well. What's the reason of US dollar strengthening?
Sir, the primary reason for strengthening dollar is US dollar is mostly a global reserve currency, where most of the countries in the world are having dollars in the form of their foreign
But
exchange reserves.
that was always the case.
Yes, sir. So that's why that resilience is still over there, and ultimately it is also.
From a student of economics, I wanted a better reply. There
Yes,
are
sir.
specific reasons for
I
that.
was coming to the specific reason. It is also that the stability of the US dollar. It is so. For example, we are having so much geopolitical conflicts and things going on around the world. So a stable currency would be a good investment opportunity.
Most important reason should come first. That has not come so far. You're still not able to get it.
Sir, I'm not able to think of.
It is the Fed rate. You know the Fed rate?
Yes, yes, yes.
When the interest rate increases, money flows. As simple as the money from world over is flowing to USA because the interest rates
So
are
I
very
think
high.
my second reason could be linked to that,
But
that a
see,
stable currency.
Anyhow, I'll tell you in the feedback.
Okay.
Feedback. Just one more question. You have to convince employees which are demanding new pension scheme to stick to old pension scheme. How you will convince them?
So I have to convince them to move away from new pension scheme.
They stay with new pension scheme
Okay.
and drop the demand for old pension scheme, which is making the many employees
Yes,
are
sir.
making many suggestions.
Sir, I would specifically talk about two things over here. Firstly, I would convince them that NPS is also kind of investment instrument which can give higher returns that they could have got from OPS, since the returns are market linked and our Indian economy and Indian market is quite buoyant, so they can get some higher returns. And secondly, I can also try to influence their emotional aspect, where they should understand that if OPS is implemented, it will be a burden on their students. On their children, while NPS is a contribution by themselves.
Anyhow, can you not support it with some data and some historical statistics?
Regarding NPS and OPS,
NPS.
sir, I just know that NPS is like contributing 14% from our salary.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So, Achal, that brings us to an end of our interaction with you.
Yes, sir.
So, how did you think you fared today?
Sir, I think especially I'll again think about this US question wala thing, that I had this Fed rate in mind, but I thought it was more about stability. So how to
The most important part of the answer should come in a first. And most important aspect is this. This changes in Fed rate last 2.5 years, which was not there earlier.
correct. So the bond yield over is
A lot of money has flown into that world over. So that's the demand of dollar has increased.
Okay, so how have you fared overall?
So overall, I felt I was able to give the answers to the most of the questions in a decent way according to me. Obviously, that can be improved. especially, but a negative side about the mythological questions. So since I've just prepared Ramayana and
On a
Mahabharata, so I
scale
was
of 1 to 10, where would you rate your performance today?
7.25.
7.25.
Yes.
Okay, oh, that's interesting. 7.25. All right. When is your interview?
It's on 26th of March.
Okay, now 2 weeks away.
Yes.
Okay, and how many mocks have you given?
2 mocks, like this is my third mock.
This is the third. So, what has been the feedback?
So mostly the feedback was around my hand movements in general, and secondly, talking about the answers, that while answering economics questions specifically, I was not giving those special economic terms which are expected from an economics graduate candidate. These were 2 of the major feedbacks.
Right. Okay. So let's discuss how you did, and since it's around the corner, just 2 weeks away, it's not much time. And first of all, you are a very good candidate. Don't worry about not being able to answer 1 or 2 or 3 odd questions. First, you must know that you are very good. Let's come to your appearance part, right? Your hair needs to be better groomed.
So actually, I was just coming to the bike,
No.
and he just told me to enter the room. So I was not.
Achal, I'm not asking immediate
Yes, sir.
response.
Yes, I
Okay.
understand.
I
Sorry,
have
sir.
written that you have the habit of butting in.
Off.
You butt in. Even when the
Okay,
question
okay,
is not
understood.
complete, you start off. Sir was asking a question. You started off, sir, others.
Yes, sir.
So,
I understand.
now, let's discuss. Just internalize. For your betterment, I would be making some suggestions. One, your grooming, better groomed hair. If you are going to support the beard, fine, no problems with that. Let it be groomed properly, the beard also. And 3, don't sit with legs so wide apart.
Okay.
Just a bit, bring them a bit close. That's perfect. They say 10 inches apart. Feet
Okay.
should be 10 inches apart, right? So the moment you do your feet 10 inches apart, you cannot have it. Now your posture has also improved by that,
Okay.
right? So that was about this. Now your non-verbal communication, hand movement. I have no problems with that. The kind of hand movement, shake of the head, and other mobility on the face, that's all acceptable. There is absolutely no problem.
Okay.
The now issue is that you butt in. 2, your answers are diffused. As you said, the economic terms you are not using, as you should be able to talk like an economist. And B, I think you should not be economical with the facts, but economic in the use of language,
Okay.
right? If you are precise, if you are asked to make a presentation, so the focus is on the bullet points in terms of priority. So think of an answer. Don't rush to answer a question. Hold your horses back. Listen to the question for fraction of a second. That fraction of a second will allow the panelist to complete the question if he has not completed before you start answering. 2, it will give you the opportunity of internalizing the question, processing the question, and framing a logical answer.
Yes, sir.
So, first thing should come first. Hit the nail on the head. Okay. So, just in 2 weeks, try to be precise. And since you are a student of economics, there will be questions on economics, Indian economy, and the global global economy, and various other things associated with it. How trade and commerce getting impacted by geopolitical situation also, right? So be prepared for that. And your DAF, work on your DAF. Either you shouldn't have written mythology. When you write a broad thing like this, mythology, you become vulnerable. it has been done, it cannot be undone at this stage.
Correct.
So, like you preempted my questions by saying by this I meant only Ramayana and Mahabharata. Acceptable. But on Ramayana and Mahabharata, you should be thorough. Ved Vyas didn't write. But he, of
Puran,
course,
Shiv Puran.
yes. Right? And you made another wild guess that who makes the ink. If you don't know, it is better to say, I'm sorry, I don't know. That shows your transparency, integrity, and honesty. But when you say that who makes the indelible ink, now tell me, you are a student of economics. Will I source my material for inks from a private vendor if I'm printing my notes?
No.
Will I procure my EVMs from Samsung? No.
No.
So apply yourself. It has to come from a PSU,
Hmm.
whether of the central government or the state government. Right? So just think about, apply your mind. Be present in the interview. That will happen only when you listen to the questions carefully. Listen carefully, frame your responses, allow yourself time, and then speak. Your performance will go up by at least 10%, which makes a huge difference to your merit in the civil services. You get my point?
Yes, sir.
So please work on your DAF, work on economics, work on the budget, all those things, and financial like Paytm and other number of things are happening. Number of things are happening. So just be aware of them, not surface knowledge. Go a bit deeper into that. I think you are a very good candidate. You are young. We would like to, the UPSC would like to catch them young. So you have great opportunity.
Commendable, he has got in the first.
Yes, in the first attempt you have gotten it. So don't let it go waste because of your hurried responses. You are good, smart, everything. Articulation is good. No problems anywhere except patience. Bit of patience. Organize the thoughts. Do well. Wherever you don't know, please say no. That goes in your favor than making wild guesses. तो हमको ये लगा यार सट्टे मारता है, देखो वो नहीं लगना चाहिए बोर्ड को. If you say sorry sir, I don't know, it's acceptable.
Should not try to answer each and every question. There is no, because factual things many people don't know.
Yes, sir.
It is not necessary you know everything. You know,
Okay.
so you accept that you are not knowing.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
And you know, wherever you are taking a guess, even if you take the permission, please take a guess where at least you know 50 to 60% of the answer. If you don't know and you said कि कैमलिन होगी या पार्कर की इंक होगी, तो वो मत करो भाई. ठीक है? All the best. You are very good. You will rock. You should do well.
Thank you.
Okay, just work on it.
Thank you.
All the best. Thank you.
Indelible ink is actually not an ink.